solidarity and unity. Not just having faith that one day things will get better, but holding a firm understanding that if we want to see positive change in our country, we have to work at it.
That's right.
Whether you are a spiritual leader, church member, or community member, we all feel a deep responsibility to respond to the recent tragedies that have perplexed our nation. In the midst of these struggles, us, the church, we the church, a communion of Christians who all profess faith in Jesus, in whom there is neither Jew nor Greek, male nor female, and we might add neither white nor black. And yet, our Sunday morning worship services, our neighborhoods, and even our schools still bear the marks of communities that have been shaped by race and culture more than by a common faith. Person after person has been highlighted in our media, having experienced death being unarmed at the hand of police officers. We also mourn for the police officers in New York who were murdered by someone who thought it appropriate to take the law in his own hands. As citizens of this great nation, and I myself being an educator of 9 years, respect the role and sacrifices officers make for us daily. At the same time, however, we hear the hurt and pain of our community, especially our underserved communities or our communities of color. We have been venting these frustrations for years. The frustration that because of our socioeconomic status or the color of our skin, that our lives aren't regarded as highly as those of our white counterparts in more affluent neighborhoods. Their pain is our pain, and it is real and relevant. That is why we are here to echo our beautiful mantra, every life matters. Which stems from the Declaration of Independence, which holds, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. So every life does matter. But much of what we feel, saints, is based in fear. Fear that our country hasn't come as far as we think it has. Fear that our children aren't safe in the streets. Fear that the fight in the 40s, 50s, and 60s hasn't had a significant impact as we thought it had. Fear that the actions of some officers, what appeared to be a misuse of power, now leads all officers to be lumped in the same category of having terrible intentions like racial profiling or systemic racism in the law enforcement. This isn't totally the case. We cannot allow these terrible circumstances to suck us into fear. We are the church, and we have to initiate the healing process. Fear cannot prevail because 2 Timothy 1:7 declares that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. These tragic events also highlight the fact that there is a great divide in our country. When the topic of race relation arises, angst and consternation arise as well. Our country seems polarized at two opposite yet extreme points of view. One side declaring that racism really isn't an issue anymore, and the other side asserting that race is all that matters in America. The truth, in my opinion, rests somewhere in between, which is why I'm so proud of us as a church for not being afraid to step outside of our four walls and have the challenging yet necessary conversation about racial reconciliation. Because in order to reconcile, we need to be real. Real about what's going on in America and how it's impacting and hurting us all. Bottom line, our country is in desperate need of racial reconciliation. America's history is filled with deep, dark, dreadful moments, but how do we begin the healing of our nation? Look in the mirror, because it starts and ends with you, me, and us. Everyone standing here today. Simple things like vocalizing your discomfort and disappointment when you hear a racist joke, or registering to vote and serving your jury when you're being summoned, or understanding that racism is sin because it denies the fact that we are all created in God's image. So in conclusion, I just want to say that every life matters.